Alrighty. Thank you everyone for having us. We are presenting to you Eat Now, Track Later. I'm Jack. I'm here with Thambi, Ryan, and Sungil as well. So currently in the United States, fitness and nutrition is not looking great. Fewer than 25% of adults are meeting physical guidelines, and adherence to dietary guidelines has remained stagnant at right about 50% for the last 20 years. And all the while, you can see on the left of the next slide that the fitness market app is growing a lot. So the fitness app market has been growing exponentially. It's projected to keep growing. But as a country, we keep getting fatter. The adult obesity rate is just steadily increasing over time with no signs of slowing down. So we decided to make another fitness app to tackle this problem. And we know what you're thinking. There are plenty of apps in this space, but we know that by focusing on the right things, we can be different. So in order to figure out how we needed to be different, we had to see what was going wrong initially. So if someone has downloaded a smartphone, there's a 58% chance that they've downloaded a fitness app at some point. And almost 4 in 5 of those people have actually stopped usage. 95% of them said it was because data took too long to enter. And 88% of them said it was because they lost interest in the app as a whole. So clearly there's a problem here. So if you look at what fitness apps have traditionally been, you see Myfitnesspal, which is down at the bottom, and they're the market leader. And Myfitnesspal and Myfitnesspal adjacent apps are generally clunky, time-consuming, and not super easy to use. And as a result, the users lose interest or leave and really see no long-term positive impact. So in response to this, to their credit, some more companies have come out with complex and expensive apps to join the market, and they promise more personalized results. And this is through interesting tactics like blood sampling and other time and money-intensive procedures. And these novel strategies do work in the short term, but over the long term, we see the same issues that we saw before, no long-term impact. So this brings us to our mission. We want to bring simplicity back to fitness tracking. We want to make an app that focuses on getting to the root of why and how people build habits and make nutrition and fitness decisions. Most importantly, we want to build an app that will drive long-term change in our users. And that's why we've built Eat Now, Track Later.
So what actually is Eat Now, Track Later? Eat Now, Track Later is a fitness tracker. It's a social media platform, and it's a nutritionist all rolled into one. So let's talk about what that actually means. So from a technology perspective, what we've done is we've developed a fully functional website using a Django framework, which combines HTML front end as well as Python backend. From a scientific perspective, what we've done is we've utilized habit formation theory as well as addressed widespread nutritional deficiencies. So let's take a look at habit formation theory and specifically the habit formation cycle. The habit formation cycle consists of a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. For example here, say I'm at the mall and I smell donuts. My cue is smelling donuts. My craving is I could use a donut right now. My response is to buy the donut, and my reward is to eat the donut. Now, without any interruption, this cycle is going to continue, and bad habits are going to form. Now, what we do at Eat Now, Track Later, which no other fitness app does, is we actually interrupt that process right here. And that's because to make a post on Eat Now, Track Later, you actually need to take a picture of the food you're eating. And this might seem like a very small thing, but interrupting this cycle causes really big gains in the long term. Now let's take a look at a demo of showing how our posting process works. So here we are on Thambi's page. We have his user profile, a few posts he's made in the past. But what we're going to do now is create a post. We're going to choose a file. This is going to be a picture of a chocolate donut. We're going to caption it donut, make it 2 servings of grains, and we're going to post that. And this is going to bring us over to our social media feed. We're going to see our posts. You're going to see posts of people you follow. And yeah, so here we have this donut as well as a post from Kanye and Shaq. And we're actually going to talk in a second about how social media applies into this value proposition as well. So as you know, we've designed our app to become a habit, and that's through habit stacking, which we just talked about. And that's how we pair taking a picture with eating a meal so that taking a picture will become just as habitual as eating a meal is for our users. We've also designed our app to influence other habits. So the first way we do this is through accountability partners. So anyone that you follow or get followed by on Eat Now, Track Later becomes an accountability partner for you. So for example here, let's say I go out to eat, I'm about to have a cheat meal. I'm a lot less likely to have that cheat meal if I know that after I take a picture and post it onto Eat Now, Track Later, my friends and family are going to see it. And that small motivation in the short term really causes long-term gains when we look at the drivers of our user success. Next, we have immediate gratification, which we're going to show through another demo here. So we're still on the feed here, but we're going to go over to the dashboard. And this is where all the fitness components of our app come into place. So if you see here on the leftmost column, today's progress, this is going to be showing what we've ate today. And we have those 2 servings of grains we just posted. But what we want to focus on is this right-hand column, my focus areas, which we call our habit tracker. And you can see the 3 focus areas here, each paired with a daily counter. And that daily counter is going to go up 1 day every single time a user hits that focus area for the day. And this is super, super important because instead of obsessing over long-term targets that they're not going to see progress day in and day out, such as lose 15 pounds in 3 months, which the majority of our competitors focus on, we focus on goals on a super micro level, day in and day out, with more of a process-oriented mindset. And that gives our users a lot more motivation to continue with our app over the long term and drive success. So now Thambi is going to talk a little bit about how we address widespread nutritional deficiencies.
So the next piece of our scientific contribution is how we address nutrition to drive long-term health impact for our users. We are using a new approach to display nutritional recommendations that will differentiate ourselves from other applications. But first, let's take a look at what some other fitness apps are geared towards when they provide nutritional recommendations. One of the biggest fitness apps in the market is Myfitnesspal. As you can tell, there's a lot of numbers or percentages attempting to accurately predict how many calories you need to burn and display your nutrition for the day. Most fitness apps obsess over these qualitative figures, such as macronutrients and calories, which end up being inaccurate anyways. In fact, fitness apps misreport your health data by about 30%. Leading fitness apps tend to focus on the quantity of your food rather than the quality. This sort of modeling fails to address where our true nutritional deficiencies lie. Over 75% of Americans fail to reach recommended fruit and vegetable intake, and almost 60% overshoot the recommended grains intake. As you can see, we are far off from where we should be. Our model to display nutritional recommendations is designed to focus on the quality of your food, not just the quantity. Our certain recommendations follow the U.S. Dietary Physical Activity Guidelines, and they're modified to change based on user goals and our predictive caloric exponential model. Our model is based on a 15-day moving average, which uses your user exercise data to predict how many more calories are needed and expected exercise. The dashboard details will change based on the user inputs and the exercise data. The included indicators are visually appealing to display the serving recommendations to help the users easily and efficiently see their progress. This is a feature that makes us unique and combats the quantitative and clunky models that other competitors offer.
For testing and validation, we used a Google survey to gather feedback, but we were very time limited, so had to focus on short-term testing. We focused our short-term validation on initial user reactions of a small sample size, which revealed generally positive feedback. To really test the effectiveness of our app, we would need to perform a larger study over a period of many months to validate whether users would have lower attrition rates than our competition. While it was a group effort, responsibilities were mainly split up into technology and science. During the time that we were all learning Django, we progressed with the project through scientific research, especially of US dietary guidelines, and thought about how to innovatively implement these concepts into our app. Since we wanted our value proposition to using these techniques and revolutionizing the way we look at fitness apps, we hope to emerge a new fitness user, a user who is excited about fitness, a user who sticks with it for the long term, and a user who realizes their fitness and nutrition goals.
Happy tracking.
Happy tracking.